Meet Fishlord. They are a Challenger Swain Main on the North American server who has created a unique playstyle to make the champion work at high elo. Fishlords has moved Swain into the bot lane, but not as the usual support. Instead, he plays Swain AD carry. This playstyle change is what has allowed him to climb so high and have such great success on Swain. I'm going to show you how he does it. Swain is a much loved champion by many players, but sits at such a low play rate mid lane that he doesn't even appear on any of the stats websites. The Birdman was designed to be played as a mid lane champion who builds scaling items like Rod of Ages and power spikes late game after getting a few big items. However, Swain lacks many important features that meta mid laners have. He doesn't have high mobility like a Zed. He doesn't have high burst damage like a Syndra. And he doesn't even really have great crowd control like a Zoe. Oh god, that last one was horrifying. I'm sorry for making that. Anyway, Swain is a champion that is designed to work best with other champions that have CC, as his passive combos with it so well. Fishlords saw this potential, and realised that the role that makes the most sense for the Crow Collector is bot lane. He does play mid-secondary, but he has mixed success with it, so much prefers the bot lane playstyle. Swain bot lane is usually played as a support, and in fact this is Swain's highest play rate role of 3.6%. Okay, still not that high. Swain support is an early level focus pick that is not seen often, so it's a bit of a cheese pick. He aims to land his E on the enemy AD carry while they're farming through the wave, and pull them into his minions to get kills in lane. This playstyle is very strong early, but quickly loses its power due to Swain support not getting the gold income Swain needs to be a real champion. Fishlords has solved this problem. His playstyle combines the strong early game power with a high farm playstyle that lets this power increase throughout the game. Fishlords manages to avoid any power decrease like Swain support would have, remaining highly effective at all points of the game. From level 1, Fishlord starts E, his CC ability, and attempts to land it on the enemy AD carry while they're last hitting the wave. If he lands this CC at level 1, or his support does, then he will use his passive to pull the enemy champion in and continue auto-attacking them to trade. It is unlikely for Fishlords to get kills at level 1 in Challenger, but in lower ranks this is the most unexpected point of power that Swain bot lane has, so kills are very possible. At level 2, Fishlords takes his W and saves it so he can combo it with the CC from his E. He keeps up the pressure, looking for grabs with his E whenever he can. From this point onwards, if he or his support lands any CC on the enemy, then they can likely combo it into a kill. For example, Fishlords follows up on a CC from his support by first using his passive to pull them, getting them in range for him to land his E. He then uses E and W at the same time to ensure the damage and slow from W are impossible to dodge as they hit during the E. This is a high burst combo at early levels and lets Fishlords chase down the kill with auto attacks. At level 3, not much changes. Fishlords just gains a slightly higher amount of damage and continues to look for pulls with his E. At level 6, Swain is stronger than most AD carries since he is designed to be able to 1v1 in mid lane. Swain's ult is amazing for fighting AD carries as they need to stay in close range of him to auto-attack, so he will be draining them at all times. If they choose to run and stop being drained, then he can pull them back in and burst them down with his second ult activation. Otherwise they'll be staying in range of the drain, which is going to be basically blocking the early game attack damage of an AD carry. In these fights, Fishlords tries to get on the AD carry and burst them down, then change his focus to the support afterwards. After level 6, Fishlord is able to take any fight bot lane he wishes, and he is very hard for any AD carry to kill, and impossible for any AD carry to 1v1. He stays in lane as long as possible, farming up items and looking for all-ins. At this point of the game, Fishlords has a great trick up his sleeve, which again is unexpected to enemies. He builds first item Protobelt in many games, and uses it to get on top of the enemy AD carry in lane when they think they're completely safe. Fishlords uses Protobelt to extend the range of his E by dashing forwards with it and then using it on a confused enemy. Protobelt is not a common item for Swain or any bot lane carry, so it's never expected by the enemy. Not only does this let him surprise enemies, but it also lets him dodge CC and run straight past the tanky support to kill the AD carry. Fishlord builds Protobelt first in matchups where he can use it to get in range and get kills in lane. He will not build it in games where he's against a mobile AD carry, specifically like Ezreal, as they can still get out of range even with the dash. The best champions for Fishlords to combo with bot lane are those with lots of crowd control, and specifically those with point and click CC. For example, Pantheon is probably the best support to combo with, as he has his W stun that is point and click, while also providing extra damage to finish off enemies. Nautilus, Blitzcrank, Thresh, and Pyke are amazing champions to pair with AD carry Swain. Enchanter champions like Janna, Lulu, or Soraka are basically useless with Swain AD carry, as he doesn't really need the shields, and they don't have the hard CC that Swain needs to get kills in lane. If you check Fishlord's match history, it is literally all wins with champions like Pantheon, Thresh, and all losses with champions like Yuumi and Janna on his team. The whole playstyle relies on high CC, tanky support champions to frontline for Swain, while letting him combo his CC, so make sure to talk to your support and champion select about this. For his full build, he starts Doran's Ring for lane and rushes Protobelt in all matchups except Ezreal. After this, he buys Sorcerer's Shoes, then Zhonya's, preferring to get Seeker's Arm Guard rather than Stopwatch first, as he prefers the early damage and resistances instead of the invulnerability. Next, he buys Leandri's Torment most games, unless he is against multiple healers, then he will get Morellonomicon instead to counter the healing. Morellonomicon is very good on Swain, as he's constantly doing AoE damage with his ult, so he can apply it to every single person on the enemy team, so it makes it slightly better than most mages, but still not optimal if the enemy doesn't have any healing, for example. To finish the build off, Fishlord gets Rabadon's Death Cap, and then chooses his final item between Void Staff, if the enemies have lots of magic resist, or Banshee's Veil for some extra safety. For his runes, Fishlord loves the Electrocute playstyle, as it really helps out Swain's damage early game, and is what allows him to get these kills in lane. He also takes Cheap Shot, great for his CC heavy playstyle, Eyeball Collection, and Ultimate Hunter. For secondaries, he always takes Precision Tree, with the Presence of Mind and Legend Tenacity runes. These help out Swain's team fighting a lot, allowing him to keep fighting longer with the mana that he gets back, and chase kills easier, avoiding the CC with the Tenacity. For his stats, he likes to take 2 Adaptive and 1 Armor for bot lane, once again maximising his DPS. Swain is potentially the new strong solo queue pick to play mage bot lane, taking over from the previously successful Talia bot lane that was played to great success on the Korean server. This style of play is very uninteractive for the enemy laners and would be terrible to play against, which is exactly what you want from a solo queue strategy. Fishlord picks up kills in lane, tilts the enemy AD carry, and outfarms them all at the same time. So what more could you want from a bot lane? That's all for today. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you want to see more videos about innovative solo queue strategies.